The Dark Ages, a land in ruin. It's a coven of three dark creatures and their subservient trio of ancient black dragon siblings run rampant. They bring ruin and destruction to the land crumbling beneath their powers as curses, disease, murder, and bloodshed are being spread constantly. The three creatures have infected the minds of many, if not with their spells, then with their tyranny. The world is in need of heroes to rise up and put an end to this madness. You find yourselves in the large open gates of Castle Excelsior, the home to the half-elven queen and ruler of this land, Queen Aramin Boshayan. You find yourselves walking into a large banquet hall. The queen and her advisor sit together at the far end of the table. You see, she is a beautiful half-elven woman who has this long flowing golden dress. A headpiece of a fractured golden crown sits around her head. Long white hair falls down behind her waist. In what you would expect to be a large, welcoming, multi-course meal, but lies instead a fairly barren table. A testament to the severity of the poverty that has struck this land, has struck you all in your day-to-day lives. So much so that even the royals are suffering and rationing. The queen and her advisor stand as you enter, giving you all a slight bow. You take your seats, looking to your left and right. What do we see?
Everyone sees a female shifter of middle age. She has large rabbit ears that are constantly rotating, looking for different sounds. Her hair is made of porcupine quills that travel to about past her shoulder, and she's got very furry long claws. But she's in a very elegant red dress with gold trim, and her hair is very neatly parted out of her face. And she's sitting beside her brother.
Osen is a shifter, but a shifter that has more accepted himself as a shifter, and he seems to always have a more bestial appearance, especially at this point in time in his life. The best way to describe him would be a gray wolf lichen, and he is currently wearing a white button-up with a blue overall on it. He stands a little bit taller than his sister, and he seems to be a little bit older than his sister.
Across from these two, you see quite a tall elven figure. She is clad in golds and whites and this a lot of flowy silks, but you can see that is over top what looks to be this very thin, shiny metal, and it appears that currently she's wearing full plate armor, yet it is thin and it appears mobile. She is rather tall, long blonde hair with blue eyes. She has a certain elegance to her, but it appears to come more from age and knowledge than any level of natural-born charisma.
So Ursa is he's a hulking behemoth of a young man, a Goliath, very tall and broad. But unlike most of his Goliath kin, rather than having no hair on top and all the hair is a beard, he's he's got a bit of a baby face and a medium length hair, blonde with it braided down on one side, kind of draping over the battle scars on his face, and he's adorned in bear pelts, with a bare-chested kind of fur coat as he kind of sits at the table, scrunched up a little bit.
As you all enter and you take your seats, looking back and forth at one another, your attention all kind of turns to the queen, who looks to you all. Greetings, fabled warriors. I was honestly not sure if you'd all make it here. Especially you, Madame Tiltrust. Thank you.
Gives a little bow in her seat.
All thee here tonight because you all know of what this world has endured the past many years, and I'm afraid that there is not much more that we can do to hold on. My finest tacticians and advisors, they have shown me the reality of the situation and the true disparity, the hopelessness of all. Frankly, what you see before you on your plates tonight is most of what we could squander up. Make sure that we could give you a good goodbye, so that you're fueled, ready to take on whatever evil you will have to encounter, because this is all we have left. This is all of our hope is in you. There is no more light in this world to be seen. There is only darkness and disparity. The stories I was told by my father are not true anymore. And I wish to bring light to a world. A world in which I am happy to raise to raise children. Because right now, no one deserves to go through this. Our resources are limited. Our men are starving and dying. And you all are going to... You are going to put an end to this. I'm done with hoping. I'm done with praying. I'm demanding that there is success. That good finds a way to triumph over evil. If not any other day, then today. There's a bit of somber energy mixed with this raw, emotional enthusiasm that doesn't seem like she's trying to convince you as much as she's trying to convince herself. You see a individual approach from the corner of the room who's kind of standing there. He's a bit taller for a human, a little more on the taller side, about 6'1", bulky, wearing a full plate. He holds himself with this incredible stature, very young for someone who seems to have all sorts of medals and adornments on his chest. This is the man who will be leading you on this expedition, Ezekiel Donheder. He kind of nods to you all. Good evening, everyone. There's no easy way of saying this. We are sending the rest of the armies of Bashea into a death trap. It's honestly a suicide mission, but it's one that we're hoping will distract enough troops, bring enough time for us to take care of what really matters. He kind of pulls out a map. This is where all of their primary resources come from. We're talking timber, we're talking food, many magical ingredients mined out from the mountainside. This is the hotspot of resources that would cripple them. But it's a death trap. There is too much we cannot see. The North Sea lies just behind this strip of land. And in that sea, we do not know what they hold. There's a river that they control, a choke point that we would not be able to overcome. We would be decimated, is what I'm trying to say. It would be a long, drawn-out suicide mission, but a suicide mission nonetheless. This attack will launch in approximately 48 hours. Meantime, the 5 of us and a small crew are going to take a single vessel across the ocean to Boreal, straight to the capital kingdom, Borealis. We're then going to eliminate as many of the leading targets as possible. You all are familiar with the 3 queens, a trio of darkness. They stay together always, never leaving each other's side. And with them they have a trio of vile dragons, which all serve different roles. There is Zswarg. We call him the Contriver. He rarely leaves the city of Borealis. He stays as the main protector and aids in the Queen's dark, vile plans. Then there's Tralzadath. He is the disease and decay. Then there's Ditheratox, the Enforcer. This is the one we need to look out for. This is the one that, if we're gonna get killed off rip, it's gonna be this one. And then lastly, there are what we have simply referred to as the spouses. King Dazagoth and General Azraphel. Dazagoth is the husband of Queen Azul, primary enforcer, riding alongside Ditheratox, always riding together. General Azraphel, she is the wife of Queen Diane to be found with Chazadak. What I'm saying is that we are never going to be able to take a target alone. There are always going to be multiple enemies. And as you all kind of take this in, Queen looks to you all. I know that this is a lot to ask, and there's a lot riding on the success of this. I cannot make any promises about your survival, or about the danger. You have the heart of the people on your side.
Well, after that pep talk earlier, we can't just go about losing now.
I'm ready if anyone else is ready.
There's a smile, and you can see there's tears welling up in her eyes. Then you leave at dawn.
What brings all of you here? I mean, the Queen called the other mission the suicide mission, but I mean, we're heading straight for their capital, straight to their home. I'm not sure which one counts more.
I have hope in us. I like our odds. You've got us. Don't worry about it. If it's not prying too much, what brought you here?
Well, the Queen, as it was, said something that strikes a chord with me. The light in this world is fading quickly. And I don't mean hope or the rising tide of evil. I mean, quite literally, your world is on a bad track, and the people of my realm do not seek to help. And I know there are many who live here on Midgard that don't quite deserve the light of Alfheim, but there are still elves here, and there are many who could seek its blessing and should.
You are much appreciated.
And you see as she talks, she summons like this very dim, it almost appears like a small glowing sun in her hand, like kind of fades and then sparks out. In my home, I could make something, well, much larger than this without any effort. But here, it would take a considerable work of magic, bridge to the connection to the light of Alfheim. I wish that my fellows would see that it could be the case here, that the light could shine just as brightly once again as it did some time ago.
So you're one of the good guys.
I mean, I thought we all are. Are you?
I'd say so, but your story and motivation's very uplifting.
Quite noble.
Why do you think that? My peers don't quite agree.
Well, then we'll show them that we're worth the light.
As you have been at sea for, at this point, 6 days, there is a weight you can feel on your soul. A cold breeze blows from the north. There is danger coming. You all sense it. But Lumina, you feel more than that. You feel something very wrong. Slight, faintest sound of leathery wings beating. Far, far off.
She's gonna put her arms over everyone and just kind of be like, so, how is everyone feeling?
Great.
Fine. Just fine.
No sense of worry, dread, anything like that?
I
little
felt
something like that.
a bit crazy, but
That is good to note. Okay. Because there is a dragon approaching us.
pardon?
And she points over. There's literally nothing to see, but she points over that way, right there.
What can we do to prepare for its arrival?
You see Osen reach into a bag, pull out one whip, put it on his back, pull out 2 whip, put it on his back.
Ah, okay.
And just kind of like keep my eyes peeled for when it gets within like a mile.
As you kind of put your eyes out ahead, Ezekiel kind of walks over to you and touches you on the shoulder. What are we looking for? As he's just now getting to the top of the deck. You're pretty certain that your eyes can see great distances. You would feel confident that if there was something in the sky, especially on a day where today there is some cloud coverage, but it's nothing absurd. You would see it if you could.
I can at least say with high certainty that it's well over a mile out. I'm not picking up on it with my eagle eye.
Lumina. As you focus in your ear, you almost hear separate beats.
Oh hell no!
Okay.
I'm out.
They don't sound nearly as intense, but there's definitely at least 1, 2, 3, 4, probably at least 3. There's a few sets of wings.
So, either this is a very fun dragon that has a lot of wings, or it is not alone.
We know they would not be alone.
I don't think it would be best to fight directly on the ship.
This is a bad time to mention I can't swim.
That's... Okay. Okay, that's quite bad.
Kind of keeping an ear and eye out for everything. At this point now, Osin, you can hear it. It's faint, but it's coming. But even still, there's no visual evidence of anything coming your way. And what grows concerning is the darkening of the sky, despite it, at this point, maybe only being about 2:30. About 30 minutes have gone by since you first heard that beat of wings. There's still nothing.
Osun reaches into his quiver again, pulls out another rod. Do we wish to leave now? For at least a period of time?
I'm more worried at this point about the ship.
I can take everybody on the ship.
That would... I think we need to protect the ship itself.
Okay.
Maybe the crew members, but... I think they're just... We have those underneath the ship right now in the hull.
You're able to gauge that they are about a mile out. You are adamant that if there was something in the sky, you'd see it.
Lumina's quite wise and might pick up on this. That might try and, like, invisibility themselves.
Osin and Ursa, you two have heard stories of ships, either cargo ships or military ships, just being decimated, and the survivor saying that they were attacked by the largest of the dragons, Ditheratox, and there was zero sign of them at all. It was like they just appeared. And when the prospect of invisibility comes to mind, there's this revelation of the way they've been able to enforce and bring control and ruin to those who travel the sea is by not letting anyone see that they're there.
Does that seem like something one of those dragons might do?
Oh shit. I don't know if we're gonna see it coming.
So Lumina's gonna put 2 little suns in her eyes. You see like 2 little tiny suns appear. I'm just gonna cast See Invisibility on myself.
It is not hard to spot them. They are not necessarily stealthily flying in. They are there. You can see them at this point. They're probably a half a mile out, coming in hot. You see what appears to be one gargantuan black dragon with what appears to be like this glowing red crystal kind of in its chest, which seems to be spewing like this reddish energy like through its veins. You can also see 4 other smaller creatures, not draconic. They are avian. They are black-winged creatures, almost that of like massive overgrown crows.
Some kind of black bird?
You have heard stories of crows corrupted by the Dark Queens, basically twisted and transformed into these giant man-eating monstrosities. From your knowledge of them, will sometimes roam out and cause carnage and terror, but they're mostly something that can be found in Boreal.
Well, I do see the Enforcer, some big crows, some dudes on the crows, and the king is nowhere to be found currently. But also, I don't really think I could see him from this area. I do point directly at the dragon.
How far out do you think they are?
Half mile?
Is it time to get angry?
I'd hold off just another second on that.
I can be angry for a long time.
You want to put on a little bit of a performance?
You've got about a minute.
1 minute?
Moving at the speed they're moving, yeah.
3 of it, yeah. Four
Yes.
of you currently cannot see them. Do we want to try something fun?
What is the fun?
Yes.
I mean, as far as you can tell, you can't see them right now. So as long as I'm not looking at them, and I can tell how close they are just by the wings at this point. Do we want to try surprising them, like they're about to try to surprise us?
Oh, brother, what if I casted greater invisibility on
It is a tactic we have tried many times, but I do not against a dragon.
That would probably work against the crows and the mounts.
Kuro will take a little carpet out of her bag and lay it down and kind of sit on it and just act like she's lounging.
Watch as everyone kind of positions themselves where they're waiting to be, and at this point you can hear the flapping of wings coming quickly.
Illumina, at this point, the second they get to the point where they might be able to see her, she will turn around and be talking to somebody else, and will only be doing this off of audio.
Are you guys trying to deceive them that you don't notice them at all?
I think that's the plan.
You kind of stand there waiting, almost ignoring the very obvious sound of wings flapping and these things moving in. The largest one lands straight on the front of the ship, and you feel it tip up for a second, just with the sudden drop of weight on the front of the ship. And for a second you think it's going to completely tip over itself and capsize, and it shifts back down. And at that same time you can see two different groups of these crows and their riders touch down on different sides of the ship. And as they do so, you watch the invisibility fade completely. And you can see as the dragon lets out a massive roar, you can see a line of acid fire up into the sky. And there's just this you can almost sense the fear of at least the crew. Maybe not those around you, but there's definitely a fear in the air. And you can see as the neck kind of bows down, sitting on the back of this dragon, a large humanoid-looking figure with a massive mask and what looks to be a giant black mace that it carries at its side. These piercing red and yellow eyes look to you all.
How cute! What are you all supposed to be? Think you've sailed a little too far north.
Kind of gets off the edge of the beast. Looks to you.
Lumina is still acting like she's pretending like she can't see them, because she wouldn't have realized their invisibility dropped. She's just like, you guys hear that? Must have been the wind.
Must have been.
I hate elves. And he just pulls out the mace and readies himself. I'd like you all to roll for initiative.
We're in pitched combat now. You haven't seen her go for any weapon. In fact, you don't see her have a weapon at all. And you see she kind of reaches onto pretty stylized gauntlets on one arm. The bracers kind of have this design that has two suns on it. She reaches for one of them, grabs them, and literally pulls it off, and will say to everyone, "Let me show you all the light of Alfheim." Throws it up in the air, and you see an actual small sun appear that just shines this light down on all of us.
Next to the mass, in front of the dragon, and I will. I'll wail into him.
You come up and given the first thing, which is more of a setup, as you kind of swing down at the left leg, dealing a decent chunk of damage. But as it flinches, it kind of twists its leg in a way as if to kind of pull away, and you use this opportunity to just cut down and immediately slice off the top of 3 of its fingers, as well as like still coming upwards and giving a good cut up the side of the arm. It screams in outrage. Yeah, that messed it up. The dragon kind of looks towards you, Ursa.
You ape, you will pay for that.
And is going to unleash a acid breath, which is just going to, well, it's just going to hit this huge line here, and it is, I think, going to clip this guy, which is a little unfortunate, but he doesn't care. You watch as this beam of acid cuts through the ship. You just watch like a huge hole kind of carved out, and the mast completely eviscerated, and what's rest on the top just kind of falls off, hits the ship, and then falls into the sea. All the mast is completely gone.
Okay, well, that was kind of fucked up of you, I think.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do my original plan. I'm gonna cast banishment on the king. Like, hearing, I like the sound of this. I don't. And you see the sun that was, like, right in front of him just flash brightly for a second, and the king's just gone. Well, like a camera going off kind of flash. Just, whoop.
And with you, being the king not in range, like gone, it is instantly going to recognize it's going to become your target. So it's going to 2 legendary actions with a wing attack. That is not, it's not going to be too much damage, but you are going to be knocked prone. And it is going to fly up half its speed. It's going to fly 60 feet in the air.
Ursa's gonna get up. I think the king turned invisible. Fuck!
You have no idea what strange magic you've seen fall before your eyes.
Well, thinking that he's invisible next to me, I'm gonna reckless attack the air next to me.
Your first attack swings, and if there was anything there, it would be gone. You know for a fact that nothing could escape that swing.
Ursa, I may have disappeared.
Oh! Got it.
I'm gonna go for the ranged guy.
Fuck!
You watch as it quickly flies and lands. You feel the ship move and dip down.
You've gotta be fucking kidding me.
You slam down once, and it kind of comes up off the shield, and in this like, oh, you slam down even harder, right into the center of the spine, and it reels back. Its wings stop beating for a second and falls about 20 feet down. And I'll say, in this exact moment is when the shield kind of drops, as its attention is just like completely diverted. So Seth, I'll say you're getting bold, and this can go off at the same time. This flash of light hits chest as this blood splatter kind of arcs, and for a second it has this secondary set of wings that are kind of flying off of its backside as it is just reeling from that hit.
I think the only thing I'll do left is I'll as much as I can lean into the dragon's ear and go, "You have my permission to die now," and that'll be my turn.
Damn. Angry, it kind of looks down at everyone.
Can you get it back, Jacob?
You will all perish.
And it is just going to just blow acid straight down, and you watch as it hits down into the lower sections of the boat, and it just begins tilting its head upwards in a straight line. It is gonna hit you 3 here.
You motherfucker.
So I need you to make dex saves, but you watch as the line of acid just cuts the boat in half. And where you are all standing is just liquefied wood that's beginning to like kind of break apart.
Wait, you said he
And
fell.
peel to pieces.
Yeah, so I need to roll a 30 on this d20 to keep concentration. Oh, that seemed to not work, huh?
Banishment drops, and you watch as he angrily returns back. I will say exhausted.
So, King Dazgoth just got back from being banished, right?
Mm-hmm. You're gonna banish him again. Jerk.
Maybe.
That's a 24 charisma save.
He gets back. Finally, a chance to end.
What did you roll? Is it a nat?
Charisma? It's charisma?
Yes.
Charisma.
Succeeds. I rolled nat 20.
Damn it.
And you watch as it goes through and he turns and he sees it and he kind of, as he's returning, he just grounds himself in reality for a moment. It was just sheer force of will and wrath and looks directly at you, eyes glowing with hatred and rage. Not again.
Oh no.
And on its turn, King Dazagoth turns back, and you can see this large gauntlet he has on his hand begins to glow as he puts it on the dragon. Let's get the fuck out of here. And he's going to cast Teleport with the Gauntlet of Teleportation.
Can I? I'm going to.
You can counterspell.
I'm going to counterspell.
What
At,
level?
At 7th.
7? Snuffs. He clutches his hand, expecting the energy to go off.
28 piercing and 10 psychic.
How do you want to do this?
Ocean backs up these stairs, trying to get away. He's going to turn around and he's going to take just 2 pop shots straight into the crystal, and that was going to be the disarming strike of popping out the gem from its chest.
Yeah, you watch as that happens, as you hit the 2, as it kind of hits out, and the moment that gem is separated from its chest, you can see its life energy begins to drain from it, and its entire body begins to whelm with energy. And you watch as the dragon just explodes into a heap of acidic and fiery energy.
As he is standing over the corpse of his dead dragon, I'm going to pop him in both of its eyes. That's
Yeah.
for going after my sister, you rat motherfucker!
You watch, and as the boat begins to, like the sound of wood creaking and the acid just eating through it, as it's kind of turning in on itself and collapsing, you watch its body roll off, and it's just collapses into the sea below. Are all watching as this ship is going down, and you are still a ways out, with no real means of getting there, except
Actually, I have the biggest flying carpet that you can have.
as you guys are kind of taking off, the ship is sinking, and you are all kind of getting up onto this rug. You see Ezekiel standing there, looking down at the ship and looking to you all as you're kind of getting up together.
You coming?
There's too many people here that I don't think have no chance of survival.
Ocean will reach into his quiver and pull out the staff again. If you wish, I can get these people to safety.
That is what I would like to do.
Cool. Click. All the people that were in that ship are teleported to a 200-day paradise.
If you're gonna send them, I need to make sure they're alive. Can you throw me in as well?
Yes.
As the storm rolls through and you watch as your ship completely disappear, as well as any remnants of the crows, the dragon, and King Dazagoth, you begin heading out towards the direction of land. You are all crammed onto this one little flying dainty carpet,
I'm walking. Yes.
where you're walking. So
I'm not on the carpet either.
Broom. Regardless, you guys are traveling for the next several hours until eventually, as the sun begins to set and the dark clouds you can see are very apparent around here in this region. That is where we're going to call the end of tonight's session.
We're about to see the sunrise.
The beautiful sunset.
The light escapes us.
Yeah.